hundreds.
Let's go.
It's like, I don't know what.
Are you Dr. Strange? Have you seen all the different scenarios?
I'm not sure what you were looking at, dude.
Towers of Doom is going to be the battleground that we go to. Leftovers with the choice of battleground.
100% of the people that tweeted us said that it's a dumb name.
I can't argue with stats, you know? No matter how small the sample size is, 100% is a good number.
It's 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how that works. No, jokes aside, Liquid needs to address something here, and to be honest, I'm looking at this and my first thought is, ban Diablo.
Yeah.
Just like, ban Diablo. You destroy the combo, and you take one of the best tanks that they have away that is just wrecking you right now. Yes, they have constantly been consistent with the Genji and Maev's ban. So you have to let one of the two through, and then you have to think, okay, which one are we able to deal with? Is Genji a hero that we feel confident going up against, or do we somehow have to deal with Maiev, maybe pick her for ourselves? But yeah, just, you have to come up with something, and the Diablo ban seems to me the most obvious solution to the problem that they're facing right now.
Well, they'll have one more chance here to get it right. If not, Leftovers will be able to walk away with possibly a 3-0. Maiev comes out as the immediate ban here for Team Liquid. And I just realized something, actually. Didn't Mopsio just recently shave his head?
Yeah.
Is that why he's having such a powerful weekend already?
Duh.
Dang, man.
Obviously.
Team Liquid says, okay, we are done with the dibbles. Diablo has now been banned out.
I like that. Also, hey, that leftover team is pretty decent, aren't they? Yes, they definitely are. Seriously, if there are sponsors out there, they are currently thinking about heading into HGC with a couple of them, then this is the team you want to look at, because these guys have been continuously improving and they are currently looking at a pretty bright future if they are continuing down that path.
Do you ever wonder what it feels like to be on one of these teams when you're just like shutting down everybody? How awesome that must feel to like be a part of a unit?
It's always the consistency in the long run that worries me. But yeah, that moment when when everything flows together is fantastic. Then I come immediately back to the question, how do you deal with losses? Yeah. But that's something that Leftovers have also experienced, like all of them. They had a tough time at the beginning when they formed, and even getting shut down by Twitter several times. So they are not strangers to having to deal with the disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, they went through the open division and then came into the HGC and got smacked around a few times. So they definitely understand where that's coming from. I mean, Mopsio, too, is a guy that's experienced failure over and over again. Failure builds towards success, though. That's really a testament to him as a player, too.
So Liquid bans Diablo. Obviously, that is already helping them, but it doesn't really make Leftovers a pushover team by any means. You're now facing a team that still picks you out for the offlane, still has Deckard Cain, still a strong composition.
Yeah, you can slot in a Murd in here too, and that works just as well with, not as well as Diablo, but...
It's not quite the same thing, but it's definitely still scary.
Yeah. Tracer and Mouth. Team Liquid takes Tracer for themselves early, too.
She's back.
Is she back?
Oh, well, there's actually a couple of arguments made that in the current patch with Mephisto, which is not the patch that we're playing here, Tracer can actually have a lot of good arguments in her favor, where she has all of a sudden is countering a lot of the heroes that are coming in or that have been reworked and are making a comeback right now, so that in a changed meta through new additions and through reworks, she can be more powerful. And I think the argument is definitely holding some water. Yeah. So she's back to an extent, depending on composition, and also I would say on map and how you can deal with it. I like the attempt, but it puts a lot of pressure on the Tracer player. We saw the same in the last game. DAB dealt well with the pressure after the initial early game, after the first brawl. Can Liquid do the same? That's what we have to wait for now.
And speaking of said reworks and new heroes coming in there, for those that are like, hey, when do I get to see the new Tyrande? Next week. She'll be available to be played. We'll go to the Mephisto patch. But all because we go to the Mephisto patch doesn't mean that we'll have Mephisto available for play. He'll actually be available on week 10. So you'll have the, what is he? The Lord of Hatred, right?
Yep.
The Lord of Hatred will enter the HGC in week 10. And that's right before the playoffs, too.
So in general, when a new hero is released, it's always 2 weeks until you see that hero after release eligible for HGC. Yeah. That's basically how that works.
Typically, it allows us to have one full patch cycle in case a hero comes out too strong, too weak, blah, blah.
Exactly. So it's a question, first of all, of does that hero need to be adjusted? And also it gives the HGC teams some time to properly scrim with the hero, to properly play with it so that nobody is getting blindsided. You get some scrim time with him, can practice it in Hero League too, so that's why there is that gap. And that normally makes it a bit easier. With 3 bans coming in, you can then also, of course, like target a new hero if he's a bit overtuned, even if the next patch doesn't directly address that. But it gives teams at least a good opportunity to have a proper look at the hero and then incorporate that into play with having some time to adjust for counters and also what kind of composition they want to run it with. It's a topic that continuously keeps popping up, so 2 weeks is the traditional time frame.
I still haven't even played the new Tyrande, man. I'm still kind of heartbroken that she's been changed because I was falling in love with that character, man.
Oh, believe me, I know.
She was becoming my character, and she gets reworked, and I'm just so afraid, you know?
The fanboying of playing Tyrande on Alt-Direct Pass that I had to endure on...
It was so good! New Tyrande, apparently she has a pierce now, so like you actually had to activate it to get the pierce, and so it's like, now I have to commit fully to an owl, I can't just toss it out anymore, like, I don't know, life is hard now.
So you actually need a little bit of skill? Yeah, I can see why you have problems with that play style.
Building a Tyrande owl stack, that took some skill, it took some commitment, and it took a lot of
randomly
discipline.
thrown out owls and
because
get
like
a bit lucky.
You were always struggling with the idea of like, oh, I want to stack my owls, but I should probably use it for scouting, and that was a cool dynamic for me. I loved that. That was fun.
Just ignoring the burns here hurts me.
Because I feel like you may burn, but you don't get to feel the good moments of what Tyrande brought, right? All you can do is burn the negative sides, but you don't look at the positive sides.
That makes 0 sense.
Exactly. Trickster has used Confusion. Super effective. I may have been watching a lot of Twitch presents lately. There's a lot of Pokemon going right now.
Nazeebo banned out, and Sergeant Hammer as well. So the bro has made his way into a lot of games here, especially with Powers of Doom delaying it.
No Nazeebo, I had a frog joke.
If we have a lot of frog jokes, feels good, man.
Yeah, man. I had a joke that I wrote down yesterday. I was hoping that he would pop up. Can I say it anyways?
All right, come, let's do it.
Why are frogs so happy?
I have no idea. Please tell me.
Because they eat what bugged them.
Oh, feels good, man.
Yeah.
Great jokes. I like it.
Thank you. All right.
We have a whole arsenal of frog jokes, by the way. They are awesome. So
we're fans of frogs here.
They're going to keep hammering away. I had no idea how many good frog jokes
I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, these are kind of funny. Like,
yeah, I was like, that isn't too bad.
Frog is officially the funniest animal in the world. 4th and 5th pick.
Is it, though?
I mean, I guess platypus is kind of funny when you look at it.
Platypus.
Yeah. Wallaby
is a funny name, too.
Mm-hmm. Murden and Hanzo. So there's that Murden we were looking for. I actually kind of expected the Murden for leftovers here. Get that jumping type of style between Urel Murden, but...
we're looking for Blackitten's hero still, right? We have Phoenix for DAB. We have Garrosh now in exchange for Diablo, so you have at least a bit of displacement that you can use here. Yeah, I was talking about auto attacks more so. I can see Reyna completely because it threatens Tracer even more. So Junkrat would help you with the wave clear. It would also help you with more displacement if you're really targeting, let's say, the front line and you're trying to get a stun in or Warbringer and you just like push them back. But if you have now 2 auto attackers that can just away the entire time against Tracer whenever she gets close.
Yeah.
And you can also end with a salvo, depending. Then you have a lot of kill potential against Arcana. We told you in the beginning of the draft how much it's going to hinge on Tracer.
Yeah.
So I think now it's going to be even more difficult to get that play.
Both assassins can deal with these bomb coming out as well. You have Fight or Flight on Raynor, which naturally gives you that armor, so you can just straight up tank it. And on the other side, you have the ability to warp out of it and completely negate all the damage in from Phoenix. So good pickups here, actually, for leftovers. And again, I feel like I come into the draft in a match, and I feel like leftovers is pulling slightly ahead when it comes to pulling out the heroes necessary during a victory.
I just can't help myself but feel that leftovers are currently on an absolute roll. It puts also, with what we're seeing here, it puts the victory that Fnatic just had over leftovers into a completely different perspective. Because it felt like Fnatic needs to win 3-1, and they nearly did, but they win 3-2, and it was a hard-fought victory. But now that you're seeing this, it really puts that accomplishment into perspective for them.
Here we go. Potentially the last game as leftovers are up 2-0 on the left side in the blue. Team Liquid. Ocelot's playing Hanzo, Sport Billy on Murden, Eternal on Dahaka, Nurok on Malfurion, and Arcaner on Tracer.
And to the right side with a 2-0 lead in this series, the leftovers with Linked on Deckard, Kane, Blackitne on Phoenix, putting DAB on Reyna, Potipos on Urel, and Mopsio on Garrosh. So again, a slight overlap in the hero pool, allowing them to switch the Reyna and Phoenix player.
Nothing major in terms of talent poking out here. Actually.
Now also, I want to start this game as we're talking a lot about hero combinations and compositions with a quote from Heroes philosopher Emily Monster. Vanilla ice cream composition doesn't even make sense. Vanilla is the worst, and those three are the best. Words of wisdom to the beginning of the game, always spicing things up a little bit.
It's always perspective.
Yes, and you have none.
The perspective is that the vanilla ice cream is a standard foundation that you can build upon with
Did I just drop the mic?
topping.
I think I just dropped my mic.
You don't even have a mic. It's on your head. It's stuck to your bald head right now.
I can still drop it.
It's okay, man. I'll let people believe in what they want. I don't want to fight people.
That's how you do that. Tolerance, my friend.
Sappers grabbed immediately for leftovers. Same for Team Liquid.
Fantastic segue into the game here as we have the camp taken. But yeah, again, Tracer is going to be in a position where that double auto attack style that we see from leftovers is going to put the pressure onto Arcana a lot. I really want to see what he can pull off. Can he get those kills? Because I think it's difficult. Whenever he goes in, if there's no one else to make the immediate engage with him, he should be focused down within seconds, and I think it's going to be rough for him.
There's always a setup with a arrow coming in from Hanzo. Hanzo actually might be the one that really just puts the hurt in here. You have him be the alley in the alley-oop, and let Arcana be the one that comes in and finally finds a takedown. So we'll keep an eye on Hasselhoff, especially as he builds into that Scatterer build so far for his team. Oh, actually, Dahaka coming in here. They're going for the kidney, and they actually find the drag, they find the damage, and there's a pick.
Great kill. That was actually fantastic for them. Really well done here. And this is actually something I want to highlight in particular when we're talking about Eternal. I talked about this a little bit when we were playing on Battlefield of Eternity, but it's just his ability to land these drags, which is really fascinating. I think he's absolutely on a level here with Wooby when it comes to those engages. Especially here today. He's absolutely on fire with these.
He's got something sticky on his tongue, that's for sure. Able to constantly land those things. Part of it, too, is how he comes in and at what time. In that choke, there was nowhere for Phoenix to go anywhere unless he had the warp immediately afterwards and just lands his tongue immediately afterwards. So knowing when to go for a tongue is also part of the act of playing a Dahaka. And Eternal's really delivered on that point. I totally agree with you.
Triple altar in 10. I mean, right now, you have still that global aspect. I mean, we're talking about the Haka and Eternal and his drags, but it's really just having the global tool available on such a big map that is fantastic. So I really want this to be the big play where Team Liquid is saying, okay, we're going to play a macro style around you with this now.
First couple of altars grab for both teams. Second altar to the bottom. Leftovers can poke this a little bit. Brushtalker should be up in a few seconds, so they might have a small window here to find a pick. If they can grab someone here, it will really kind of come off the back of Mopsy on that Garrosh, but Scorpio's doing a really good job, one, staying mounted, and two, keeping him in check.
Now, the Haka is still pushing out the top lane, and that forces URL topside. And this is what we've seen on Battlefield, where the Haka kept them in the game for a long time, just simply through that extra experience. But they should try and use that to really get a lead in this game. And if they can now make that snap choice to borrow the Haka down again, he's already staying out of vision. That would be great for them to maybe get that drag on against someone here and get another kill, secure the shrines with that.
Good play there by Arcana. Dancing around Garrosh, watching up that Groundbreaker. Phoenix came in, turns around, gets him on low health, pushes him away from the fight. Constant dance. And again, this is kind of delaying the next couple of altars too, which we build towards that level 10. Sappers up again for both teams too. As Lakitni begins the channel, will Dahaka burrow in? Arcana gets to disrupt.
Channel attempt again, and alright. I mean, Arcana is really zoned out through all of this. This is one of the things that impresses me every single time when I see them just split the opponent, drive a wedge between them. Leftovers are doing such a great job at that. And look how much damage Arcana is really eating from those auto attacks that we talked about earlier. Now the space is completely claimed by Liquid, and Link is trying to get that channel. And with all that displacement, the AB using the penetrating run, they get it. There is a kill against Durell, but it's after the altar is channeled through.
The leftovers go up 36-32, but Team Liquid finds a kill.
It's a bit of a consolation prize here. It doesn't really give them a lot, but at least they get some experience through it and gain for a few more seconds map control.
A pat on the back. We got a kill. Good job, guys. Let's keep keeping that up. As actually Team Liquid goes ahead and experience, thanks to mostly Dahaka though, pushing out those waves earlier, finding a few minions in, and we'll go ahead and start building towards that level 10. You laughing at the boss?
No, I have dumb analogies in my head.
Sam. Let him out, dude.
Like, it feels like a fire hydrant that gets peed on by a dog. It's like seeing a real kill. It makes no sense, but it popped up in my head and I thought it was funny. It's like, don't think about it.
What?
It doesn't make any sense. It's like the fire hydrant doesn't care, you know, because like it's a fire hydrant. And so left over, just forget about it, but it's a funny picture. I have no idea where that came from. I apologize.
I really don't think you're allowed to make fun of my analogies anymore.
I didn't want to say it.
Because first off, you're pretending the fire hydrant has emotions, which is fine. I'm
No,
also
I'm
with
not-
you there.
I'm not-
And if it did have emotions, it would care. It's become property at that point. It becomes territory mark for other dogs. So it's not a good analogy.
Leave my fire hydrant alone.
I guess Urel, when it comes down to it, is upset that she died. That's what it comes down
Oh.
to. You tried. You know what? And I commend that. I won't hate on your analogies. You did a good job, Caldor. Gold star.
I thought it was good. I wouldn't have said it. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It was just a funny picture.
Ultras are up. Standing firm like a fire hydrant as Arcana comes over and grabs the first ultra to the middle.
Yeah, and they actually give one up. I'm a little bit surprised that you really didn't make that rotation a bit earlier and try to interrupt it. I mean, it's a level 10 on Liquid side that really deters them. I feel that Polyboss was a bit afraid that there's someone hiding there that could really make that play. Mopsio, though, with the interrupts here, trying to buy them that little bit of time that they need to get their own level 10, and it's going to be there any second. Neuro gets interrupted again, and there's level 10. Now Leftovers can fight, and we know how that turned out. Once on Battlefield of Eternity, they arrived on the same talent level as their opponent.
It's incredible the confidence Leftovers has when it comes to team fighting. The moment they hit 10, they stepped up. You just saw Team Liquid back up and
Mopsio
bow to it.
just ate an arrow falling. That is true friendship right there. He sees the arrow flying, and he's just like, I got this. Steps in the way, taking a bullet for him, basically. Would you do that for me?
Yeah, easily, dude.
All right, that was straightforward.
Arrows,
I
as
appreciate
long as they
it.
don't hit a vital organ, usually can come out. The trick is to push them all the way through your body, though, as in a movie.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm just saying, like, if I
It's
had to
just-
take it, I'd get through with it, you know? It'd be painful, but I would do it.
What if it hits your heart or your lung?
I mean, that sucks, you know?
That's-
It's a calculated risk, and obviously I didn't calculate it right. But I'm just saying I would do it for you. That's what the
Okay.
answer was.
All right. As I said, I appreciate
You can't ask me, would you take an arrow from me? And then when I say yes, say, why? Why would you do that?
No, I mean, like you said, you're going to push it through your body. It's like,
Yeah,
what
that's what you
happens
do
when you hit your heart?
That's what you do with an arrow.
It's dangerous. Okay.
You push it through, because if you pull it out, it actually rips your skin.
Yeah.
Sport Billy comes in, gets a Stormbolt on top of Urel. There's the Root 2. Big Saul coming out at the same time as Leftovers are chasing forward. Hasselhoff with the natural agility is able to jump to the safety of Tranquility.
Exchanging cooldowns here, but the drag again, and these kills are really what
Arrow.
gives me hope for Liquid. One kill, they look for the second, but here comes Linked, and he goes in with a stay a while and listen, and saving Polyboss. You have to respect that. There is a horde of angry people rushing towards Urel, and Deckard Kane is just moving in and bores them to death until they're saying like, all right, we get it, we will move away from this.
What? It is a big couple of heroics burn. The Ardent Defender in particular is down for 95 seconds, so with an altar activating in about 15. Team Liquid is starting to grab the sappers at bottom lane and get some pressure.
Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit. Right now, when we're looking at the game, we still have, from an objective perspective, Leftovers ahead. 32 points on the core against 28. But they can't really pick up any kills here. It's actually the opponent who is able to secure one kill after another. It's just the objective is still going over in favor of Leftovers. And you look at the experience lead for Liquid, and it's tiny. It's really minuscule here. It's not something that you can really rely upon when it comes to the next objective on the map. But we're talking about a single altar now. So this is going to be one of these 5 versus 5 team fights, and Leftovers are going to look for that kill at this point.
Polyboss begins the channel, backs up a little bit here as we have the sappers pushing in. That one altar is the main focus, as Caldor has mentioned, and Dahaka is attempting to buy as much time as possible. Ideally, Team Liquid would love to get level 13. On the other side, Leftovers want to force a fight and find a pick before that 13 connects.
There you go. Mopsio, Indomitable, moving
Big
back
isolation.
again. Good road again the back. Isolation though, but the save from Garrosh. Throwing Blink Kidney back. Urel hopping away from the bomb. A lot of abilities already used from Team Liquid to try and get a kill.
Dude, Eternal is on point today. After you pointed it out earlier, dude, I've been keeping an eye on him. He has landed every important skill shot. Speaking about skill shot, here's an arrow. Hits 3. Sport Billy attempts to escape. Gets the armor right when the salvo connects.
And again, another drag from Eternal.
It doesn't stop.
Insane today. The quest completed on Muradin 2. Team Liquid coming out firing in game number 3, and they definitely need to. The break did them a lot of good, apparently, since this is a way more decisive team than we have seen in game number 1 and game number 2 of this series.
Eternal on the break, 100% plays Super Mario 64. He is going full Yoshi. Another one connects. Bam! That's via another kill, as we have a total of 5-0 here for Team Liquid, and they tie up the game at 28-28.
I mean, Eternal is just at this point connecting everything that he throws out. It's absolutely fantastic. Like, he put on the backpack after the break, and it's just like, guys, I got this.
We're not going down.
We're not going down. I'm going to carry us to victory here, and the team is following up every single time. Also, Billy at the front line, completing the quest at this point, just getting all the value from the cooldown reduction, the stuns that set things up for Eternal. They are great here. Arrows way better now than what we've seen before. And leftovers, after Diablo was taken away from him, struggling a bit to find a foothold in this game. The altar, the bell tower at the bot lane is going down, so even more control. They're going for Billy. But Malfurion has their back, and now Eternal's coming in too. Thinking about forcing another fight here.
Putty Boss has a big flank here. Can he get the knockback he's looking for? The Vending Rat's about to pop up underneath the turret. There it is. Hits 2. Maybe a bit optimistic.
That was, I mean, let's call it what it is. That was pretty dumb.
Okay. I like optimistic because it has more letters, but yeah. We'll dive into a turret, into a drag underneath the tower. Sure, you have the Ardent Defender, but Team Liquid has shown twice in this series already that they know how to layer their CC to lock down your world, not to allow for it to pop up, and once again, they pull it off.
Honestly, that was one of those plays and one of those mistakes where you make it, and then a second later, you're like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And why did I just do it? That's one of those reflex things where you don't even think about it, you just make it, and then in a second it's just like, okay. Yeah, that was pretty much Potipus suiciding in the game, and not in any way reflective of his performance today, by the way. It's just one of those moves where, like, I hope the camera didn't catch that.
All said and done. Oh, hang on, a third comes in from behind, though.
Yeah, they really want to fight for this now.
Yeah.
And Phoenix is at the bot lane defending because as a camp pushing through, he needs to. That allows him to go in, and Liquid with another kill. Reina is down. Ling can put them to sleep all day long. It doesn't matter. Now he himself is in trouble. Falls too. 2-level lead for Team Liquid. 8 kills to 0. Liquid is destroying in this game.
Yeah, Team Liquid's brought it back, but Leftovers also seem to have fallen off a little bit, cooling off from the first couple of series. A couple of really interesting mistakes so far. Eternal, though, making the big play there on that occasion, coming in from behind and being able to find a drag while Phoenix is in the bottom lane. And now four more shots come in from Team Liquid as they grab the boss, taking the score to 28-14.
And the level lead is huge. 2 levels and a talent on 16. That's a big deal. Difficult for Leftovers to get any kind of foothold here. Every single time they seem they might have a chance there's a couple of individual mistakes. They just cannot find kills. And it's tricky. Muradin has a lot of sustainability. His level 1 talent is really doing wonders for him. I mean, we haven't really pointed it out, but against all the auto attackers, Sport Billy chose to take block over Third Wind or the Perfect Storm, and it really does a lot for him. It's actually fantastic. Against Phoenix and Reina, it's such a great talent to use here, and he walked away from so many difficult situations. And of course, always with Eternal having his back, with them engaging into the fight, with the tranquility that comes out of Nurok, who always is keeping his teammates alive. It's just difficult for Leftovers to break through that. It also explains a little bit that suicidal, optimistic move of Urel earlier, because I feel they just felt forced to make something happen before 16 at that time, and they couldn't make that work, so now they are on half the core points that Team Liquid has, and we have another triple altar phase spawning. This could literally be game. You take those 3 altars and it's over.
They're doing their best to keep an eye on the bottom lane, even getting some pressure on DAB, trying to maybe pick off Raynor before this 3 altar phase begins. 16 finally connects for the Leftovers. Seems like they're going to give up the bottom side of the map, realizing, okay, we'll give up the 1 altar, Tahaka will go there for the globals, and we'll play for the 2 at the top.
16 versus 16. I mean, that's the big saving grace for Leftovers, having the extra talent now in as well. A little bit more sustain for Reina. Already 5 shots fired, 5 versus 3 exchange. That at least saves the game for the Leftovers for now. But still, if you lose this one too, you're down to 4. And that puts you on the checkpoint, even with a boss. This time the Haka might have overstepped slightly. Taunt is already in. Stay a while and listen. They're trying to wreck them here. The salvo comes through. Nurok is low, but he goes down towards the end. Phoenix also dead, and so is Reina. Team Liquid with a 2-for-1 trade, and they are trying to make it a triple.
Also, they'll come in from behind and really fling out those arrows, putting Leftovers in a really difficult position. 3 more Sappers also make their way in towards the south. That's going to be a 25-6 score. Team Liquid will grab the last altar too. Oh, arrow flies across the map and also connects with Decker Kane. There's going to be the pulse bomb. Not enough to get the kill, but we have Leftovers down to 1 single shot on their core.
Against the 25 on Liquid side. Nice attempt also to go for Deckard. He was too sustainable there, he's too tanky, but Arcana couldn't stay longer. The towers were already homing in on him, so he needed to move back, but he at least tried to apply the pressure here. The 1 point on the core is, of course, a disaster at this point for the Leftovers. Camp at the bot lane, already pushing in, they need to deal with it. And it's also going to be a scene. Like, this is now one of the scenarios where you can either wait for boss, or you just simply hold on to the bot lane, because the next altar spawns bot side.
Yeah.
So if you hold on to the bell tower on the bottom right side, there's no fallback for Leftovers. They have to completely YOLO into a fight they don't want to take.
Let's see if they're going to be able to take down this bell tower. They can slowly do it with the Rainer's Raider, but you have Team Liquid already keeping an eye on that. And meanwhile, the major thorn on the side of the Leftovers continues to be a thorn. He's a prickly one too. Dahaka in the top lane working on Sappers, working on that bell tower too. Leftovers want to commit to this bottom side, but he can burrow in at any point, so they have to play it safe, they have to play it slow.
Liquid has all the tools to win this game handling. They have a global hero, they have a level advantage, they have fantastic cards in their hands. This is really Team Liquid's game to lose at this point. They're so far ahead, it is absolutely astounding. The bell tower at the top is claimed, what makes this lane very dangerous for Leftovers after they just reclaimed control of the bottom right bell tower and the bot lane. But Tracer is already working in the middle. And Leftovers are simply trying to establish some bot lane control so that they have an easier time also going for that altar. But Tracer is very likely to eliminate the bell tower in the mid lane now. 4-man arrow. They're actually engaging in a 4 versus 5. Getting the dragon. Tracer coming in slowly. And that could still work out for them. Nice dodge by Eternal here with the burrow. Everyone low on Leftovers side. But Malfurion had to pop Tranquility.
3 heroics, no 4 heroics up and available for between our teams. Avatar available for Murden. Sport Billy jumps up on the front line. That 20 advantage is still here. The Hardened Shield was used in the last fight, so Sport Billy won't have that, so he's playing it safe. He lands a big Stormbolt on the back right while Polyboss tries to hold this altar, but Leftovers, they're getting junked out.
Leftovers are going in deep here now, though, and they are starting to pop their ults, too. The Ardent Defender has just been used. They're going in again. Billy is actually in a bit of trouble. Nice war pump. Kidney very close, though. Nearly went down there, but we have them zoning out Team Liquid. Problem is that Liquid has 20 already. They have a massive lead at this point, and they can just re-engage again.
Playing the slow game here. Link is trying to keep everyone nice and healthy, but he's starting to get low on mana. Team Liquid playing the slow game, knowing they have the advantage.
Boss is also up on the map, and we're still having control. Liquid could even give this one up if they wanted. They're so far ahead.
See what they're going to do here. Leftover steps up again. Arrow flies out, misses DAB, who sidesteps it.
But they're going for Garrosh now. Barely pushed out. Linked again with a stay of vitalism, but the isolation hits him. And Mopsio throws Muradin onto Deckard. He dies, so does Urel. And this is going to be it. A quad kill going for the full team wipe as we see Team Liquid fighting back in game number 3 and finally putting their own name onto the scoreboard here.
We've got a series on our hands. Team